Hello and welcome to Scale Stuff. In this week's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Meng 1/35 scale Late Panther A. But before I get into the kit, it's time for a little bit of history. The Panther tank came about as a response to the Russian T-34, and on paper it was arguably the best German tank of World War II. It had good sloped armour and good mobility, topped off with a hard-hitting main gun. Unfortunately though, the Panther was rushed and took less than a year to go from concept to first production, which is actually a record I think. Because of this, it was a delicate tank when it first came out due to its short production time. There is also probably more written about this tank's transmission than of any other tank in history. Many problems were ironed out with the Panther over time, but it still required careful handling to get the best from its engine and transmission. As the war ground on, crew training times dropped, and lack of experienced crews, along with lack of spare parts and a lower quality of spare parts, caused many of these big cats to be unready for combat and awaiting repairs in depots rather than on the front lines. Now onto the model. This model was first released by Meng in 2017, and apparently, according to the box, it was made with some sort of input from Bovington Tank Museum, which I take as a good sign right off the bat. A first quick look at the many sprues in this kit shows them to be very crisp with good detail. The parts count in this model is rather large, as the kit comes with over 1,000 parts to assemble. The kit also comes with an amply stocked sheet of photo etched, metal side plates, link tracks with a jig to help in their construction, clear parts and twisted wire for the tow cables. I've never used real wire for tow cables before, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing how these work on the model. Not included in the kit, but an add-on part I have bought for this model, is the Meng water slide Decals Zimmerit, as having failed to get the right model Panzer IV in a video from a few weeks ago, I've really fancied giving this Zimmeriting technique a go, so yeah, I bought these, but I won't be talking about them in this video. As always with every model, I had a look around on the internet to see if there are any major inaccuracies in this kit, and overall it would seem it's mostly all good on this model, with a few Panther experts noting the lack of hexagonal shape to the wheel bolts, along with some wrongly placed cast textures on a couple of bits that you won't see, and the spare track bars are a little bit short apparently. But for a simple layman like myself, the level of detail provided is more than I'm used to getting in a kit, and I'm quite happy with what's in the box. But having seen the lack of hex bolts on the wheel hubs, I do wonder how an otherwise really highly detailed model managed to miss this small detail. But then again, it's made by humans, so human error is always going to be a thing, I guess. Anyway, now on to building the beast. First thing to watch out for on this model: pick which version of the tank you want to build and pay attention to the instructions. Some holes and bits need only be done for certain versions of the tank. I found it helpful to go through the instructions first and circle all of the steps for your intended victim so you don't end up making more holes than you need to in the model. Just look for the greyed out numbers and circle any ones that you need to do, and then ignore all the other options and you'll get the version you want. For this model, I decided to go for version 1, as I like the camo pattern and the added unditching beam on this version. Simple things please simple minds and all that. Another thing to watch out for in this kit is the suspension arms in step 4. God knows who thought it was a good idea to cross the placement lines, but read and double read this bit. Also, the wheels are staggered, so when it tells you to do the same opposite, just copy the pattern on the other side. But even then it's still a little bit off, and I just ended up using one of the other parts as a filler in the one hole that didn't seem to have a bit to go in it. I'm not sure why they decided to lay it out this way, as it's not the greatest. But after that, it's all pretty much straightforward until you get to the tracks. The tracks go together okay, no real problem with them, but having to add 2 horns to each link I found tiresome. There's also a bit of cleanup that needs to be done on the track horns to get them to fit properly, and doing all the however million links for the tracks took me around 12 hours. To me it felt like pointless busy work, but you do get a nice track when it's done, just before you retire. The kit also comes with a jig to aid with the track building, and more than 30 spare track links as well, which is quite nice for the inevitable mistakes that will happen as you get used to building them. From here on out though, the model was pretty much plain sailing. The side skirt mounting arms I found to be a little bit delicate, so I would say to be careful when cutting these bits out. I will say that I was impressed by the level of detail in this model kit. I've made a few Panthers in the past, and I'm seeing a lot of details in this kit that I've not been asked to add to a model before. I will add though that the previous Panthers I made in the past were both the really old Tamiya kits, which I've heard have aged like a glass of milk on a sunny day. Decals wise, this kit comes with the decals to build 6 versions of a late type Panther. All of the paint schemes are laid out in a full colour guide that comes along with the kit. And unlike the last 2 builds, I'm pleased to report that the paint plan in this kit actually lines up. Most of the paint schemes are from the Eastern Front and are based on Panthers serving in Poland or the Ukraine. There is also included one scheme from Normandy in 1944 and a scheme to do a captured Russian version of the tank based in Warsaw. I really like the amount of options included in this kit, as even though they're all the same 3 colours, the camos are all different patterns, so it gives you quite a nice bit of scope to paint whatever you're feeling at the time. Figures wise, this kit does not come with any figures. As always, I'd much prefer a chap to come with the model, as I feel they really finish off a kit. So for this one, I'm adding a Tamiya Tank Commander figure to the kit to finish the model off for me. Conclusion. The Meng Late Type Panther model is an awesome kit, coming with the option to build 6 different types of tank, each with their own unique features or combination of features. This really sets the kit apart from some of the other kits I've built of late. The kit goes into great detail for almost every aspect of the subject matter, and all the added extras such as photo etched and real wire made me as a modeler certainly feel well looked after. The full colour guide for each model was also a nice touch in this kit. The kit does fall short on a few little areas. I'm kind of shocked they missed out on a few hex bolts and details like that, when overall the model feels very well cared for in its construction. Also, a few little stages of the instructions are a little bit confusing, but nothing that dry fitting first wouldn't make abundantly clear. The most negative aspect of this kit, if you can call it that, was how long it took to make this kit. Compared to my normal model making times, this kit took 3 times the amount of time that a normal kit would take me to make, and I kind of felt a little bit burnt out after making this kit, but I do think that's more just because of the faster, simpler kits that I'm used to making on my limited budget. And I will add that this is a very nice model to build all the same. Costing £45, this kit is a little more expensive than I would normally spend on a model, but without a shadow of a doubt, this kit is well worth every penny, considering the amount of details that come included. Anyway, that's my look at the Meng 1/35th scale late version Panther A. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you find this video helpful if you're thinking of building one of these at home. Anyway, until next time, look after yourself and have a good one. Goodbye.